Welcome back to our Introduction to Canvas video series. This screencast will focus on part 2, organizing a class. This one will be much shorter than the last unit, so let's get started. And remember, if at any time you still have any other questions about setting up Canvas, you can always go to the CDNet documentation page and download the Getting Started guide. Right now I'm already logged into Canvas and we're already in one of my classes that has already been populated. You have to decide how you want to organize your class, and this is something that you probably want to think through before you really start developing much of a class. You have to decide how you're going to organize this and set it up. The way that I organize my class is I created a series of pages, and I will go into the pages section and show this to you so you view all pages. So the way mine is set up, I have a front page, which is the main home page where you can go to each unit from there, and then I also have a few pages that are going to contain a lot of video samples or other instructions. So the way that this is set up, notice that everything right now is published. So we have the check mark and all these pages are published, otherwise students won't be able to see them, and you can go in and edit any page at any time. So if I go back to home, I created basically a field area in here where I divided it into columns and rows, and I placed a graphic in each cell so that I could create a button and a navigation to each of those other pages. You need to decide how you want to try to set these up. You're going to have a lot of assignments, you're going to have pages, you're going to have quizzes. You can take those three different types of elements and organize them into modules. You also have options for creating conferences and collaborations with students too as you put your classes together. So you need to decide how do you want to organize this. You also need to decide what features do you want to have available in the course navigation area on the side. And remember that we control all of those areas by going to settings, and you can determine with your course which sections or which navigation sections will be available, and we can turn these on or off. You can drag them down to see what will be available for the students. Much of what you put together in Canvas, the students can actually download apps from the app stores for Android or iPhone, and it's very functional. It works very well. You have to determine what apps are going to be available as you work through this. As I mentioned in the previous lesson, I do a lot with YouTube, and I have a YouTube add-on in there which will show you how to use that in another one. Feature options, I imagine this will change as the program matures and changes with different releases, but right now there isn't much in here to really set up. So you have to determine that, and we'll go back to the home page. Now you also need to determine how you're going to set up your home page. Will your home page be the recent activity dashboard? Will it be an actual web page? Will it be a list of course modules? Will it be an assignment list? Will it be a syllabus? So you need to determine all of that when you put your class together. So you need to think that through before we really start to create a lot of different assignments and a lot of different quizzes, and of course also different pages. I had mentioned earlier that a module is basically when we create a module, you give a module a name. I'll just type something in here real quick. Module can be locked until a given date, so you can specify that date, and you can also specify that students must move through requirements in this module in a sequential order, meaning they can't jump around. So you can specify all of those things. You can even add a prerequisite module that needs to occur before they get to this one. So you can have them select another module that needs to be completed before they do this one. So we're going to add this module, and we're just going to go in here and we're going to start to add content. When you go to edit the module, it just takes you back to that original screen. So then you can start to add content to this module. You can add an assignment, you can add quizzes, you can add files, content page, you can even add a discussion if you're going to have the students do some type of discussion, external URLs or external tools. So as you add things to this, a quiz, file, all these different things, it's going to be stacked up in this module, and then the module can be placed on a page as well. So I'm going to cancel out of that. So that's a little bit for trying to figure out your structure. How do you want to try to lay this thing out? And again, just because this is the example that I'm using for my classes, this may not work for other different type of classes. Works well for many of our tech ed projects and our classes that we work with. And that's about it for this video.